Hello and a warm welcome to World This Week by latestlaws.com. This is a weekly program, so hit the bell icon to get notification for new videos. My name is Sheetal Joon, Associate Editor, latestlaws.com, and let's begin with Supreme Court this week. This week, delivering verdict in the much-awaited matter of EWS reservation, the Supreme Court Constitution Bench with 3-2 majority upheld the validity of the 103rd Amendment and ruled that it cannot be said to be breaching basic structure of excusing classes covered by Article 15.4 and 16.4. While Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Justice Bella M. Trivedi opined that the provision of the amendment is not in violation of the Constitution, the other two judges of the 5-judge bench, CJI Uni Lalit and Justice S. Ravindra Bhatt, dissented and struck down the amendment as unconstitutional. In another significant decision, the Supreme Court with 2-1 majority has held that accused has a right to receive all the documents or material seized or collected during the investigation and in the possession of the prosecution, even if draft rules of criminal practice are not yet adopted by the state. In the 3-judge bench, ex-CJI UU Lalit and Justice Ravindra Bhatt agreed to the opinion, while Justice Bella M. Trivedi disagreed. She was rather of the view that such right will only extend when the rules will be in force. In an infamous decision, the Supreme Court has acquitted 3 convicts who were awarded death penalty by a lower court after being held guilty of raping and killing a 19-year-old woman in Delhi's Chhawla area in 2012 on the ground of benefit of doubt. The capital punishment was confirmed by the Delhi High Court, noting that the accused were predators looking for prey. After backlash on the acquittal, Delhi Commission of Women has demanded panel probe and has written to the centre. The Supreme Court, while dismissing a transfer petition, held that even though accused is a woman and a senior citizen, the transfer of cases under Section 138 Negotiable Instrument Act cannot be done as per the convenience of the accused. The Supreme Court Division Bench, comprising of Justice M.R. Shah and Justice M.M. Sundaresh, observed that from the date of the decree of eviction, the tenant is liable to pay men's profit or compensation for use and occupation of the premises at the same rate at which the landlord would have been able to let out the premises and earn rent if the tenant would have vacated the same. The Supreme Court, while quashing Andhra Pradesh government order enhancing fees in private medical colleges, must 7 times observe that imparting education is not a business activity to earn profit and tuition fees has to be affordable. Next we have Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court has held that courts cannot compel a counsel to conclude cross-examination on the very same day when it starts, except in the rarest circumstances. In this view, Justice C. Hari Shankar, while quashing the civil judge order to the extent it closed the right of the petitioner as the defendant in the suit to cross-examine one witness who was 80 years old on account of irrelevant question and discomfort to a senior citizen, opined that while it was open to the courts to justify irrelevant and immaterial questions if asked by the counsel, putting him under a time frame for a day is not within the court's vested powers. Allowing Vistara to use the term fly high, the Delhi High Court observed that it is a dictionary term and is used in common parlance in sectors associated with aviation and training institute, and held that aviation firm is using the phrase as a mark for promoting its campaign and note as a trademark. The Delhi High Court has ruled that all the candidates belonging to reserved category notified by the presidential order or any state or union territory would be entitled to benefit of reservation in subordinate services in the National Capital Territory of Delhi. The division bench, comprising in this view, observed that in all SC/ST candidates are eligible to be appointed as the court attendant Group C under the reserved category in Delhi subordinate services. The division bench of the Delhi High Court, in the suit for recovery of advance money paid to the delivery of goods, opined that the period of limitation is not extended by merely demanding repayment of sending a legal notice to the other party. The court added that it is also not extended by sending reminders or exchange communications, and then the limitation would never come to an end. Now let's have an overview of other high courts. The Uttarakhand High Court has held that if a certificate do not create any legal right, it cannot be said to be called valuable security under Section 30 of the Indian Penal Code. The court noted that only where any legal right is created, extended, transferred, restricted, extinguished or released where the provision will be applicable. A division judge bench of the Gujarat High Court, while quashing a detention order under Prevention of Anti-Social Activities Act, has held that it must be backed by material facts of detenue acting in a manner which is deemed to be dangerous to the public order under Section 2C of the Act. A single judge bench of the Uttarakhand High Court, while dismissing case of a husband seeking quashing of FIR against him by his wife including dowry demand provisions, on the ground that he filed one against her prior to her filing the present one, observed that it is settled principle of law that only because an FIR is lodged prior to the FIR sought to be quashed, it cannot be the ground of quashing of the FIR if prima facie case is made out. The Madras High Court dismissed a civil revision petition on account of unexplained delay by the petitioner and reiterated that when the avertments in the affidavit are untrue and lack bona fides, then the case falls within the exception to the rule of liberal approach and it does not deserve the liberal approach formula in matters relating to condonation of delay. Moving on to miscellaneous news. This week on 9th November, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud took oath as the 50th Chief Justice of India. CJI UU Lalit retired on 7th November with ceremonial bench hearings being held on his last working day. In his farewell speech, he said that he is leaving with a sense of accomplishment and wished his successor all the success. The Calcutta High Court has asked for a report from the director of IIT Kharagpur asking him about the steps taken on complaints of ragging and whether the institute followed the Supreme Court guidelines on ragging after news of death of one of the students under suspicious circumstances broke. The Supreme Court has suspended the Madras High Court sentence of 6-month jail term in contempt case for YouTuber and alleged whistleblower Subukku Shankar. The court also directed him to not make any videos or comments about the proceedings before the High Court. Subukku Shankar was found guilty of contempt of court for his unsubstantiated remarks against the judiciary. A commercial court in the Mumbai has granted bail to Sanjay Raut in a money laundering case pertaining to Patra Chaul redevelopment project. When ED opposed the same, the Bombay High Court refused to grant any urgent stay on the bail granted to the Shiv Sena MP. Refusing to stay the upcoming MCD elections, the Delhi High Court has observed that once the elections are notified by the Election Commission, the same cannot be stayed by the court. Observing that merely because a man says he is unemployed, it would not absolve him of the responsibility of paying maintenance to his wife and young child. A session court has ordered a 35-year-old man to pay Rs 20,000 per month as interim maintenance. The top court has dismissed a PIL challenging the nomination of former Chief Justice of India Ranjan Gogoi to Rajya Sabha by the government on the ground that he was not eligible. Dismissing the plea, a bench comprising of Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul and Justice Abhay S. Oka said it was publicity interest litigation. In the end, we have international news. Stellantis enemies Fiat has won its challenge at the European Union's top court to topple a €30 million tax bill imposed by the bloc's antitrust regulators. The EU Court of Justice annulled the European Commission's decision in a binding judgment saying that its analysis was erroneous. Pakistan's PM Shehbaz Sharif has written to the Chief Justice of Pakistan requesting him to set up Judicial Commission to probe the assassination attempt on his predecessor Imran Khan. The ex-Prime Minister suffered bullet injuries when 2 gunmen fired at him and others during his party's protest march. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. This is a weekly program, and to get more information, please check the description box. And for weekly updates, like and subscribe to our channel.